Today is World Polio Day, a day dedicated to ending polio for good. And Mark Wright is here with more on the work that's being done right here in Seattle to fight really this paralyzing disease.
Michelle, good to see you.
Yeah.
So the threat of polio in the U.S. ended decades ago because we all get immunized from the time we're babies. You get about 4 shots. But people still get polio in other parts of the world. Afghanistan, Pakistan, about 20 cases so far in the world this year. That doesn't sound like a lot. In fact, it's not. But you have to remember, back in the 1980s, 350,000 people a year got polio. Many of them paralyzed. A number of people died. Earlier today, I talked with Dr. Jay Wenger, head of polio eradication at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and he told me until polio is gone everywhere in the world, it will still be a threat to us.
We're not shooting to go from 300,000 cases to 20. We need to get that last bit done, and once we can get rid of the virus from those populations and from the sewage that they feed into there, then the world will be free of wild polio virus, and we will not have to worry about any kid getting paralyzed from wild polio virus again.
And that brings us to our game changer of the day. It's this guy. His name is Steve Crane, not only a polio survivor, a polio activist, and a man that I consider my friend. Steve, it's good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Can you talk about how you got polio and the effects of it?
Sure. It was 1955. It was the morning I was to go to football practice in September, and I went to get out of bed and I couldn't stand. So it happened that fast, and nobody knew how that happened or why it was transmitted. So it was very scary. Parents were keeping kids out of crowds, out of movie theaters, out of swimming pools, and were really wondering how in the world they were going to be able to be protective in that environment. Fortunately, at that time, Jonas Salk vaccine was approved as safe, and with that, the epidemic that we had, 50,000 cases at that time, ended here.
Yeah. One of the things that I admire about you, Steve, is your story didn't end there. That's actually where it started. This guy has been an activist for decades now, trying to get funding for polio eradication. A lot of people at home don't know how polio gets eradicated. You have to hand deliver vaccines to millions and millions of kids all over the world, right?
Right.
So tell us more about that. You went to Africa a couple of years ago, actually, to deliver vaccine.
Well, the real game changer here is Rotary. Rotary has been an enormous force for over 30 years in terms of trying to bring vaccine to the kids that need it most, and at the same time to keep the funding going that is required in order to make the end of this. And the end of this is possible, which makes it exciting, but it's also critical, because if it doesn't happen, we'll get back to 200,000 cases a year.
So it takes money and boots on the ground to take the vaccine.
Steve, I'm going to ask you a question that I just thought of. Does it frustrate you to know that some people are refusing to get vaccinated?
Yes, it does. I just think it's a shame that any kid is not protected in the sort of way that they can be so easily, especially here. It's in the parts of the world that Rotary is most active, and that Mark mentioned, that are where kids just don't have access to that, and parents aren't able to do that, and so we have others doing it for them. But where parents can, I believe they should.
Yeah. So it's almost gone, 20 cases, but until it's gone for 3 years, then we can't say polio's gone for good. So, you know, everybody is in this fight, the Gates Foundation, World Health Organization, CDC, Rotary, and people like you. So thanks a lot, Steve, for everything that you do.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Good to be here.
Really good to see you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, you can also text the word polio to 206-448-4545, and we'll kick you back some great information as well.
And we'll bring Steve back on the show when polio's gone for good.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I'd love to come back soon.
That would be great. Thank you.